Oh yes, we're going into the garden, baby, and I can actually hear some lovely bird songs outside. And of course, yes, the breeding season is pretty much coming to a big close because by next month the birds are going to stop breeding. And it's pretty much next month, you know. I can hear a lot of magpies chirping on the background, maybe a few parakeets. If I'm really lucky, I can actually see a magpie on the tree there, which I don't think you can see. Oh, there it is. There's one of the magpies sitting on the trees there on a beautiful sunny day after what was, what was obviously a very early wet morning, as you can definitely tell. It was quite showery, the rain outside. But what's also quite surprising is I've actually got some very good news with the magpies chattering on the background. Not sure if you can just tell them to shut the hell up as I'm making this whole video. And actually, as I'm looking around in the whole garden, got a whole bunch of different plants here. And apparently, oh god, there's some seagulls. Oh, look at that. That's a pair of juvenile seagulls. Look at that. Oh, I wonder where they're flying to. Look at all these seagulls migrating. Looks like there's their young too. It's so nice to hear them actually. And they're laughing their hearts out. Very much so. Yep, the end of the breeding season has pretty much came to a new dawn. Because, the birds are going to pretty much fly down south of Spain. Probably somewhere as far, let's just say far south as Morocco and Tunisia. That's where they're going, aren't they? Anyways, I got the Uruguayan flowers. Oh my goodness, the Uruguayan flowers actually got a bit of a rarish pinkish colour. That's nice to see that. Somehow, that's quite nice to see a bit of a rarish pinkish looking colour on that flower at all. And of course, yes, we've got marigolds, we've got our fuchsias. Of course, it's disappointing seeing only just 2 blossoms. I might have to probably cut them back for like next year, of course. But there's some new ones germinating. About to blossom later on in the season somehow. So we can't complain about that. And of course, yes, we've got the calendula flowers. And look what's happening. We've actually got new, new buds that have just been shot out. So we've got one big one, and there's 2 small ones, and then we've also got another one which also has that. So we're basically going to be having 6 of these blossoms, and I can see some more leaves here poking out. You can actually use the leaves as salad dressing, as long as you prepare them nicely, correctly of course. The wild cabbage flower, I think this one has seen far better days. The flowering plant overall, it has seen far better days. I might have to probably trim it back once the winter comes, by next year's spring, I should try and somehow make this plant as nice as it is. Half of the time, I'm just sort of thinking, maybe I should probably leave that until, Christmas time. I might probably come along and cut this down. But we can't talk about that yet. Let's go back to the meadows and the rest of the other plants. They had a nice drenching, of course. We have lots and lots of dandelion weeds, like this one here. And then we've also got a trail of it. We've got a wall of dandelions right over here running from where I've just started, of course, which actually was here, all the way towards there. We've got a lot of those dandelions. They're not common dandelions. Apparently, we've actually got more in the way of flower activity by the looks of it now that, everything is all chopped and changed throughout the rest of the whole months. And because we have seen lots and lots of rain this year's summer, look at the grass. It has been very thick and very moist. And you can definitely tell how moist the soil is. And look how thick the grass is. It's very lush, very fertile. All I can say is it's been a very good summer for the grass. But I can tell you what, it would be very bad if you want to do some sporting activities or any outdoor activities. But best part about thick grass is it provides cover for a lot of animals. Obviously, including, let's just say, snakes, mice and rats would probably live there. Maybe a few squirrels, if you count that too. But let's have a look at what's actually lying around in the tomato plant aisle, because I'm quite curious about how these tomato plants have been doing. I'm very curious about that. And yes, since the tomato plants, well, the small ones, and there's a drill in the background, the flower is dead, but guess what? Look what's coming out. I'm going to have to probably show you very, very carefully. I'm going to pick this one up here. This one has grown nice and tall. As you can definitely tell, it's grown nicely in that sort of way. And I'm just going to show you by just putting it right there, of course. as long as I'm being very, very careful. I need to find where that flower was here. It's this one here, isn't it? And of course, yes, guess what? Look what it's decided to turn into. It's like a little berry, like a little fruit tomato thing. Hooray! We've got like these little cherry tomatoes, or tomatoes we're going to call them. They're so nice. Yep, £1.50 I think. They were like a bargain from £4.50, which is the original price. And I'm actually so happy that these small tomatoes are here. It's so good, and the magpies are chirping in the background. I can't see if there's any more flowers of tomatoes and stuff. I can't really see them at all, and it's somehow nice to see some tomato flowers. After pollination, we've got some fruit activity starting to come out. They're a bit raw, but hopefully from like the end of summer, we will start to see some very ripe flowers and very, I'll just say fruit. I always seem to mispronounce or misinterpret them as something totally different. This one here, it's still got the flowers, but of course this one's a bit bendy, so I'm off to try and somehow, it's a bit strange. It's gone a bit wonky in a sense. I should have just placed something totally different, but something else has totally happened. We've got these tomato seeds, and look what they've actually got a few fruits coming out. As you can definitely tell, the flowers, yeah, there's actually quite a few of them somehow, and you can start to see we've got a few of these little tomato berry fruit thingies. That's so nice, super sweet. I don't know how big or small the tomatoes are, but they are germinating. They're actually doing really well. I think that's how tall they are growing at the moment now. Noticing of just how very nice it is at the moment. It is just beyond amazing seeing the tomatoes now getting their little fruits. Hopefully from a couple of months' time, they should be ripe as rain. Sorry for the pun, but hey, that's quite cool indeed. I've also noticed there's a little bit of spider activity here. Can you see it? I can't really quite recall, but I think I just saw something a little bit brown, and it's this critter here. I don't think it's orb weaver spider. It could be a spiderling. And I've just got the thing right over in my hand. There it is. Can you see it? Look how creepy that thing is. Look at that. It literally attaches itself with web, and it's going towards my hand. And I'm not sure if you can see it clearly because of the sunlight. At the moment here, right, you can see how much activity is going on here. I'm not sure. Can anyone ID the spider here for me? Please do, because I'm quite pretty certain that for those who live in Australia and know they're spiders, well, they only recognise the Australian spiders. Well, I can't really tell what species of spider it is, but I'll probably presume it's a garden spider. I think. Like a garden orb weaver spider type thing. Anyways, we've also got other things I might showcase later on. Right now, and the spider is still clinging onto my hands with its web. How cool is that? Look at that. It's basically like Spider-Man. Now, and oh my goodness, he doesn't let up. He's pretty much not giving himself up, trying to climb onto my hands here. Beyond nice. I haven't got time to water the plants because, you know, the rain has taken over my job. But that's okay, you know, we got to save water for our gardens, you know, and other resources these days. And the spider, look how it's crawling. It's pretty Houdini, that thing. I don't know how you're going to get rid of that. Get down here. Get down here, you acrobatic thing. Yeah, I think it's just stuck there, just wanting to crawl into my skin and bite me. That thing, look at that. Oh my god, just proves you how tough these little things are. They're like little, oh my god. And I'm also being tangled by web. Whoa. Look at him, he's on the move. And I think every time when this spider drops, he or she just simply latches onto the web that he produced, or she produces. Can't really tell if it's male or female, but I can't really tell. And that spider is right over in my my arm and stuff. Get out of here. Oops, there was another jump cut from me, though, hey? But we've also got some fantastic news here. Looking at this meadow here, we've now started to see a bit of flower activity right over in this garden here. Now, amazingly, I can start to see a few buds of flowers. And the good news is I've got, well, there's just one right over here. And the crow is taking over the whole video, hey? I don't know how I'm going to perform that well. So we've got one of these flower buds that have started to pop out. This one here I think has just started flowering, which is nice to know. Not sure if there's any more flower buds starting to appear. I think I did see about 3 of them or 4. I can't really remember. But this is so nice. We're going to a nice transformed landscape. I can see a second one here. There's number 2 here. So I'm starting to see a bit of flowering activity right over in my backyard garden. There's number 3 here. Okay, so that's nice. It's so nice that I've got about 3, 4 of them. This is so nice. Probably 5. Oh my god. Personally, I think the packaging right over here with all that flower goodness has made me quite thrilled. I'll tell you what. In fact, it has made me thrilled. This one here, I can't really tell. And look at this. It started flowering. How cute is that? Like a little tiny yellow baby flower. Look at that thing there. It's just started blossoming. This is nice to see that, guys. We're starting to see a reincarnation of what has been happening. We've actually rejuvenated the fertility and the cultivation of this garden. How cool is that? And then we've also got this one here, and look at this. This meadow is also starting to show signs of new blossoms and stuff, hey? Look at that. I'm actually so happy and pleased that my backyard garden is coming back to life. We've got some flowers popping up, hey? My crikey's, it's taken about just under, let's just say, 1 month to get through this garden misery into an absolute kingdom of plants. It's just beyond nice. It's such a nice wonderment. You know, I'm so glad I've just brought this garden back to life and transformed the whole landscape into something much more different. And mind you, if I definitely just walk back and show you the whole scenario, look at that. Look at the whole entire garden here. This pretty much is like a starting point, but look at this. Out into the abyss. Look what we have. Look at all of this plant stuff I've been growing. And look, it's been like a couple of months. Maybe I need to stop doing it during August or September of this year. But I have got some further plants coming up. I might probably replace the nettle weed thingy. I might replace that territory with poppies and let's just say calendula. I'd love to replace it, but hey, not sure how much time I've got, but I will try and do my certain best. Now, I think that there is mint. I'll keep the mint because I probably think it's very nice and fresh to make some mint tea. And of course, you know, this whole backyard garden still really rocks on. Even beyond this point today, it's just so nice. I couldn't really tell. We've got like little tiny seedlings of rudbeckias. I tried planting those, but I think they failed. Of course, yes, there's even more of that somehow too. And we've also got more of that stuff growing. I think I've also planted rudbeckia plants. In my crockies, I feel like this whole garden is straightforward overtaken by a huge Araucarian type. I'm not sure if I'm going to get flower seed heads from like by this time, I suppose, hey? Okay, you know, I'm just really pleased and happy to know that this backyard garden has transformed into a nice new landscape, you know, of all plants I like. And I'm quite curious if there's any more flower seed heads about to pop out at any moment. And there's a little fly here, which is landed in somewhere, which I can't really quite recall or tell. I'm very much investigating the whole garden here, since I've just planted a few radishes. And I tell you what, there's also new seedlings have also started to germinate. I'm actually quite shocked to see this, man. Oh, crikeys, I think this whole garden is now becoming a new world of fertility. It's just amazing. We've got white and yellow flowers starting to pop out. Like, little, you know, little yellow baby flowers popping out. And this one has appeared for a very short time. I think it's because we had a nice, well, a nice warm, decent June. But of course, yes, it was also very wet. But overall, I think it was very cold. That was the most disappointing factor behind this, which conned the whole plant aisle right over here. I might as well probably leave this whole video, you know. Nice little lavender seedlings, they should grow over time. And, you know, maybe flower for next year, I guess. But I can't talk about that too much, eh? Because I'm going to focus about this year. Anyways, if you really enjoyed this whole video on YouTube about, you know, the gardening stuff, I might show you the lobelias and how they've been doing or not. Some of them look good, others have just died. But hey, you know, they're somehow really good. Anyways, please give this video a like, subscribe for more fun videos in the future. If you want to see more garden stuff like this. At the moment, as always, thanks so much for watching and bye for now. Oh, there's one more thing I forgot to do. Maybe in the near future I might come along and do a walkthrough on basically trimming down those nasty spiky weeds, which I believe is from like blackberries and stuff. They contain some very delicious fruits, but man, half the time whenever you look at these, 90% of them, no. I want these gone and cleared away and trimmed off easily, because just how spiky those weeds are, I don't want them around in my neighborhood. It's just so effing dangerous. I could probably get my skin effing cut and wounded. What's your thoughts? Please tell me, should I cut this down or should I just keep it? Personally, I'll just cut it down and just strip it off. That'd be a nice idea, I think.